So one of the quotes that I came across, and it made me madder than hell to the point that I quit my job at Union Sugar to help start a nonprofit in the middle of a recession. 1991, there was a recession. So I took a big risk doing this personally because I believed, and this was the quote, "The cost of preserving the high quality of life in Santa Barbara County includes limiting opportunities for others. It limits economic mobility, but that is a legitimate political choice." Say that again. "The cost of preserving the high quality of life in Santa Barbara County includes limiting opportunities for others, but that is a legitimate political choice." Translation: we live in paradise, we want nothing to change, and if that means people can't get better paying jobs or affordable housing, so be it. The person that said that was the planning and development director of the county of Santa Barbara. The guy that permits manufacturing, industry, housing, and everything else. Now, if you think that was a one-off, let me tell you the other quote. The county one time hired an economist to come in and kind of do a state of the county finances. And this is literally what he said. "We don't need jobs here. Monterey and Carmel don't have jobs, and they're doing just fine." Why is that? Because the rich people live in houses, and as long as there's no growth, the property values and property taxes keep going up. The county gets 90% of its money from property taxes. So no growth, by their formula, actually brings in more revenue. But that, and here's the key, that's only true in the South County. So I told Salud Carvajal, and I told him this morning once, I said, "You forgot where you came from." He raised $400,000 in a one-day fundraiser in Montecito. $400,000. Why? Because he gave them what they wanted. And I was just to tell him, Casmalia, Lompoc, Santa Maria, Guadalupe, what can they give you, Salud, that you're going to represent them? Because they need jobs. They need affordable housing. They need good schools for their kids to give them a future. And that's what I'm still for. And I have a 30-year record, a consistent 30-year record of fighting for people and jobs. And that's what I'm not in here to be a party hack, not here to go do the party's business in Washington, D.C. I want to represent you in this community and get better paying jobs here. And the bottom line here, we have to tell people don't follow politics. They don't understand that things are beyond their control because the people in control don't have the same needs or the same interests as they do. It really is a form of class warfare. And, like I said, I grew up here. I needed a good paying job. And I didn't find that. I found that initially in industry. I was making, I think, $15,000 to $17,000 a year working at Sinton Brown, whereas an entry-level white-collar job was $12,000 a year. And I was barely making it. The people that know me back then, Matt Ramos does this. I'd go to Smart and Vital. I had 2 burritos for breakfast. I was raised by Mexicans. I might as well tell you that. I had 2 burritos for breakfast, 2 for lunch, and 2 for dinner. And my mom would sometimes supplement. You remember, Daniel? I tried to trade those burritos for anything I could at lunch. But the bottom line here is I want to restore and preserve the American dream. And that American dream is colorblind, and it should be classless in terms of impediments to upward mobility, a future, and a hope. And that's what I want. My best friends, our best friends when I was growing up, was a family of 9, and their mother had been a farm worker when she was young, and now her kids, they had 9 kids, 3-bedroom house. We went over to their house every day, the Ramirez family. And, they had to pick grapes in Selma, Kingsburg area. They picked grapes every summer for one thing, new school clothes, or else they got hand-me-downs. So there was 9 kids in that family. And I remember I wrote a column about them one time. And I said, some people will look down on them and say, wow, that's so sad they had to work. But you know what? They learned something more valuable through that experience in terms of taking responsibility for their lives and their choices, the diligence they had working. And the bottom line here is they helped themselves and they helped their family versus some kids that were so privileged, everything was given to them and they were grateful for nothing. And I always looked at that family. I love that family. In fact, we still are in relationship with them. I looked at it and I thought, you know what? When you're poor and you have to learn to share, that's a deeper value. It's a deeper value of learning how to share than some of the privileged kids that, like I said, don't appreciate where anything comes from. And so to me, all of our families at one time, my mom was an immigrant and she didn't speak English that well when she came over here, if at all. And it was hard for her to get a job, but she finally did. She got a job actually part-time at first working in the Veteran Service Office. My dad was a veteran. My mom worked in the Veteran Service Office, and my sister, before she passed away, was a nurse at the Veterans Hospital. I'm looking at this as my service to my country. I've had zero ambition to be a politician. I still have zero ambition to be a politician.